Hi, hello. Just before we start the video, I want to let you know that if you're looking for new music, my band Walker have just released a new single called Beautiful Woman, and it's available on all streaming services now, and I'd really appreciate it if you check it out. Now, I'm a little bit late for the Christmas stocking stuffer for guitar player video, showing off gear that's small, affordable, and something that you might actually want. But if you'll excuse my timekeeping, I think I might have found something that fits into those categories, and I'd like to show it to you today. This video isn't sponsored, by the way. This is it. It's a mini pedal-sized DI box. Now, DI boxes themselves aren't particularly special. What they do is they take a high impedance signal like from your guitar, and they convert that signal into a low impedance signal for a PA through something like an XLR. So a DI box is a pretty useful tool, but this isn't just a DI box. What makes this special is it's got a built-in cabinet simulator, which can be very, very useful, especially for the prices that you can pick this up at. There's no real brand name for this product because it seems that whatever factory makes them for a lot of different brands. Moore, Aroma, Kugo, Donner, Rowan, even Harley Benton did them for about 2 months and then discontinued them. And I've seen these range from anywhere between $20 all the way up to $70, and it really is the same pedal. Now, before we go any further, I have to give you a warning. This is not a load box. Don't get it confused with that. Your guitar is plugged into this, not an amplifier. Never plug your amplifier into anything but a speaker cabinet or a load box, or you could damage your amplifier. It's quite dangerous. This is for your guitar to be plugged into. Amplifiers are designed to be plugged into speakers. The speaker is the last thing that affects your guitar signal before you hear it, and it's very important. Simply put, without it, your guitar is going to sound terrible. So when you're operating a rig without an amp, maybe you're using a digital preamp, or maybe just a simple analog distortion pedal that you're using as a preamp, well then you're going to need a speaker simulator to make it usable. And that's where this little DI cab sim comes in handy. I've put together this small pedal board which consists of a cheap, small, not very accurate tuner, into a Digitech hardwire overdrive, which is actually very good, and then into this Wampler Pinnacle. That's going to be our preamp in this case, and I'm not really a huge fan of it. It's supposed to be the Eddie Van Halen Brown sound in a box, but I've really struggled to get a sound out of this that I like, and I've had it for years. I always have struggled to get a sound out that I like, even through real amps. And unfortunately, it also has the tendency for really harsh clipping on the low notes of any guitar with even moderately high output pickups, which is pretty much every guitar I own. I don't like it, but it's what I've got here, so we're going to make the best out of it. So first, and a warning, this isn't going to sound nice, let's hear what this little rig sounds like without the cabinet simulator turned on, and then with it turned on. So we're taking a very harsh and frankly unusable guitar tone and at least giving it some potential. To be honest, this would never be my first choice, but as a backup, it certainly got its merits. So let's take a closer look at the little pedal itself. It's a mini pedal, so a battery won't fit inside it. It has to be plugged in with a standard 9V adapter. It's got a dB switch which can raise and lower the output level, and a cab sim on and off switch. This is a very basic cab sim. There's no adjustments, it's just on or off, but you can't expect anything more advanced for something that you can find for $20 to $30 now. It's got one input for your guitar in and then 2 outputs. One standard unbalanced guitar cable and one balanced for an XLR. It's also got a ground switch to avoid any potential hum. So what about a clean sound? Well, let's just try unaffected guitar straight into the pedal with no cab sim and then with cab sim, and we'll compare the differences. The Cab Sim sounds a little bit more full to me. It's bassier and rounder, and overall I just prefer it. But I'm treating this as a backup, and the real test is, can it be used in a mix? Is it passable? I think it is. In reality, I would never use this as a main guitar rig, nor would I use it to get great guitar tone. It's a fixed EQ switch, but it really is very useful. What about some hypothetical situations? You're at the show and your amp has failed. Show's over. But not if you've got this tiny little pedal in your gig bag, or on your pedal board, or even under your pedal board. It's probably small enough to fit under some of them. You can go straight out to the PA. The show goes on. Not ideal, but way better than having to cancel. But amp failures aren't all that common. They've never happened to me, thankfully, but what about something that has happened to me? Let's say you've been told by a venue that all you need to bring is your amp head because they've got cabinets as backline. So you do. You show up with your amp head and the cabinets aren't there. Show's over. But what if you can go straight into the PA? Not ideal, but way better than nothing. Or what about you've got a band practice to go to and you're taking public transport to get there? This is way lighter than any amplifier and way cheaper too. You can just go straight into the PA when you get there. So, come on, let's go! We're going to a practice.
What's up? Hey!
That little board made a practice straight into the PA possible. It was small, it was light, and it didn't sound half bad among other instruments. And in fact, everybody there was going straight into the PA. There were no amps being used at all. So my thoughts on this pedal are it's very useful as a backup piece of gear. Something small that you can have in your gig bag or just on your pedal board. Is it worth the $70 that some brands are charging for it? I'm not sure about that. But for $20 to $30, even $40, it really is pretty good. It's a great emergency backup, and sure, there are plenty of manufacturers out there who make cab sims that do what this does and a whole lot more, but they're also a lot more expensive. This is just something you can throw into a gig bag. It's the cheapest of its kind that I can find. Ooh, that rhymed. I don't know what your needs are, but it might be worth considering. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.